Hey, and thanks so much for clicking on my video. My name is Melissa and I love to crochet. If you haven't watched my channel before, I lost my corporate job in January. I was working for Spin Right Yarns out of Listowel, Ontario. So our brands are Bernat, Red Heart, Susan Bates. Anything that you see on Yarnspirations is the brand that I was working for. Unfortunately, in January there was some cutbacks and stuff, so I lost my corporate job then. So I taught myself amigurumi soon after that, and I've been going to the farmer's market with it, and it's been successful for me. My plan was to slow down on the plushies now that October is here, and that was my plan all year, but I haven't been able to find a new job yet. My thought is now, okay, continue with the plushies because they're still, doing well for me. And of course I have my sweaters. Like, I love to crochet sweaters. Those are my favorite things to make. My website is linked below if you want to check those out, and the plushies and everything that I have. So my thought is to continue with the plushies, at least until I find another job, I guess. What I don't sell at the market, when the time comes to stop the plushies, I'll be giving to charity and, different community initiatives in our area. So this video is going to be a market prep video because why not? And I wrote down my best sellers, so take inspiration from this if you'd like to. I don't know what colors I'm going to do just yet, but my best sellers are Drift the Octopus by the Crochet Carpenter. Here's the thumbnail. That's a purchase pattern through Etsy. I do really well with Jellyfish and pastel colors, and that is by Loops and Knots Crochet. Here's the thumbnail, a paid pattern as well. I do really well with axolotls still. There was a bit of a slow period with those, but they seem to pick back up every once in a while. So I recently made some of those. We're not gonna make it in this video, but I'm happy to show them to you. And that is a free Instagram pattern by Natalie's Crochet Creations. Here's the thumbnail. A slow seller for me, but it's nice to have on the table just in case, are my tiny teddies. And that is a paid pattern I bought on Etsy by Odd Dolly Shop. Here's the thumbnail for that one. That one does really well for baby safe items. I just sell them for 20. And people come up looking for a baby gift. I'm like, the baby safe bucket is right there because I keep them all in a bucket together. And tiny teddies do pretty well. I want to make some tiny chickens. I don't follow the same pattern everybody else does. I kind of just freehand them, so I can't really show you a thumbnail. But they do sell well, especially since I go to a farmer's market. I want to make some more Chomp the Caterpillars, and that's by Coffee Crochet 01. That's a free Instagram pattern, so here's the thumbnail for that one. And everything, of course, will be linked below. They do pretty well for me. I like to do them in different colors, and a lot of them I do baby safe. Just because it's a fun gift to give to a baby, just a handheld caterpillar. The next thing that does really well for me are baby Della ducks. I don't really make the big size, I just like the small ones because I keep the price point $20 along with my tiny teddies. And I find the ducks sell really well in like almond cream colors. I've tried it with like yellow before, brown, no interest. It's always the cream, the beige, like the speckle yarn, if anything. And then I also want to freehand some little kitties. That would be $10. I usually sell them for $5, like my little mini kitties. They're like a hand size. These are my $5 mini kitties. I would like to make some a little bit bigger that would sell for $10, just to have a variety on the table. I don't do very well with loaf cats. They just don't seem to sell for me. I think it's because everybody makes that style, and if you collect amigurumi, you probably already have a loaf cat. So I want to freehand something that's a little bit different, similar to this one, but not as similar as the loaf cats. As much as I do love that pattern, and I think it's really cute, they just don't sell for me. I would also like to try to make some larger bees. I do have like $5 bees, like a keychain size in my $5 bin. But I thought, maybe for like some $10 ones, or I would like to make some like those mini kitties that are themed like bees and call them like bumble cats. I've seen that online. I think that's really cute. I just haven't done that yet. So I thought, we're gonna add that into this video as well. I'm going to show you the axolotls that I just finished last night. These are all with chenille home or sweet snuggles. I believe this mustard and the navy are chenille home because I got them both on clearance. My favorite color of chenille home was peacock, this dark, beautiful color here. And now it's discontinued as well because chenille home's discontinued. This one has coral fins and like a purple body. And this one is a dark purple body and the lighter purple for the fins and gills. I love this color. I found it recently on clearance. And I was surprised because it was the only one I found in the store of chenille home for $6, and I couldn't resist. It's such a beautiful color. This last one, this light blue yarn, this light blue yarn was from Walmart. It's their, chenille yarn from Walmart, and it's very hard to find, but every once in a while I find it on the shelves for, I think, $9.98 or sometimes $7, so when I see it, I buy it because it's just so nice. It is a bit of a different texture than like chenille home and like sweet snuggles, but it's still really nice. And I have lots of that blue. So that's what I have finished for axolotls. So I think I'm doing axolotls for now. Let's count how many that was. 6, and 7. That's good for this weekend's farmer's market at least. It looks pretty funny in the bucket there. So we can scratch those off of our scratchy list, really. I usually like to make like a quick list like this, and then I go to like a nicer notepad and I write it out again with like numbers of quantity that I want to make. So next up, we're going to choose one of these patterns to work on. When I'm choosing what pattern to work on first, I usually go to the one that I can finish up the quickest, just because I can add that inventory quickly. If I start with one that'll take longer, you know, I kind of get burnt out a little bit in my brain, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to go on to the next thing. I'm just going to see what I have on my table and I'm good. So that's how my brain works. So I need to decide which is going to be the fastest. Likely will be the tiny chickens and then the mini kitties. So those I would like to do first because, you know, they're quick makes and, you know, just as I said, quick inventory onto my table. I do like to do a variety of different yarns. I usually do work with Bernat blanket. That's, you know, I got a lot of it for free from my former workplace that I'm still working through. It's lasted me almost all year. And then of course I bought some in between those times and stuff. So I like to do a variety of the Bernat blanket and then also the Sweet Snuggle Chenille Home, whatever I have on my shelves. After that, I do want to move on to jellyfish because they sell out almost every single time for me. I do have one in stock right now. I usually like to have 6, but I've only written down to 3 of them. After that, I would probably move on to the caterpillars because they're pretty fast and they're easy to do while you're sitting in front of the TV watching a YouTube or TV show. And I wrote down 4 of those. After that, I would move on to the tiny teddies. They're pretty easy to batch crochet, which is nice because, you know, you gotta do all the parts first and then, you know, you work the body and, you know, then the head and stuff like that. So that one is worked in pieces for sure. And tiny teddies probably are faster than the jellyfish, but the jellyfish I get burnt out on really fast because of all the tentacles you have to do. And then Della ducks, they're not super hard to make and they're not super lengthy. I just really hate making the feet on them. So I usually end up freehanding something. I have to see if I still have the instructions for that and how I did the feet. If not, I'll just follow the pattern, even though it takes a while. So I think that's everything that I wanted to write down here. So let's see, compare this list to my new list on my desk here. So that's 7 different patterns in total I would really like to do a bunch of this week. It's already Wednesday afternoon, so I don't know how far I'm going to get in the next day and a half. I'm going to start my afternoon with some mini kitties, the ones that I want to make, like $10-ish. So I usually do some in fun colors, so probably 4 of them in fun colors, and then 2 of them in like regular companion animal, brown, whatever colors. I find the fun colors sell best for me. When I make my little $5 ones, the rainbow ones that I showed you sell really well, and then purple, pink, sometimes green, blue for sure. So let's pick out some fun colors. And as I said, I want to do some with Chenille Home, so maybe 2. This is the Walmart velvet that I was talking about, so we're going to do one out of this. I'm going to do one in this nice color. I wind my yarn as soon as I get home into cakes, so I never keep the ball band, so I don't know what colors these are. Bernat blanket, I would have no problem telling you, but Chenille Home, not a clue. I'm going to choose little sand castles for one of the regular looking cats, and then also the black mystical yarn in the color Cinder. And now we choose 2 fun colors. I'm going to do one in Bernat blanket tie-dye-ish in the color lavender, and then I'll do one in this color. I have sold mini kitties in this color before, no problem. I don't know what color this is called because it's something I thrifted a while ago, and I haven't seen it in production in a while, so assuming it's just a discontinued color. It's been an hour or 2, probably 2. Here is the first one, and this one is, this color is called Cassis. Here's the second one. I love these eyes, they're so funny. It's the only ones I had that would work with this size. Here is the variegated blue one. I still have to put whiskers on these, I know that. This one I did treble bobble stitch. I think it looks pretty cute. So he sits up a little bit more, he's more elevated. The purple and the black ones honestly might be my favorite because I did purple eyes there. They're the slit eyes. And then this one turned out much smaller because this yarn is much smaller, like the mystical yarn. I did green eyes with him. Adorable. We can cross that off the list now, so that is 6 of these finished. So for the tiny chickens, I plan on doing fully white bodies. And I do want to use some more of my Chenille Home Sweet Snuggles, whatever, for these. So my thought is I'm going to do, I think I put down 6 of these little tiny chickens. And I'm going to do different colored combs. So like a thing that's usually red on top, I'm going to do different colors. I don't have any red. This hot pink is pretty close to red, but I'm going to mix it up a bit and do something fun with them. So we're going to do that one next. I now have all of the chicken bodies finished. I did start with a 16 stitch around one. I think it's too small. So I did move up to 24 stitches, you know, for the $10. This one I'll throw in my $5 bin. So that means we will only be doing 5 of the, you know, $10 chickens, just because I lost yarn chicken, kind of. I don't have enough for another one, And I do have 2 full skeins, but I have that for another project. So we're just gonna do the 5 plus the small one, so technically 6. But the small one will be in the $5 bin. So to pick colors for the combs, I actually do have a small cube down here. I guess it's not a small cube, it's a small amount of the chenille home. So let's go with one hot pink. This mustard I will use for the beaks. Let's do a teal. I have a nice hot pink color, a gray. Let's do this nice blue and a pastel blue. It's been about half an hour and I now have all the combs on these little chickens. They look really cute. I like the colors. Here's a nice pink, gray, hot pink, teal, blue, and the tiny one gets baby blue. I think they look adorable. Now that the kitties and the chickens are finished, I'm going to move on to caterpillars. Survivor and Big Brother, no. Survivor and The Amazing Race are on tonight. So I want something that's, easy enough to watch, look down, watch, look down. I would do the jellyfish tentacles, but I do find myself looking at them more so than looking up. So we're going to do the caterpillars next. When I make the pattern from Coffee and Crochet 01, Chomp the Caterpillar, I don't do it the full caterpillar usually. I think you have to get up to 32 stitches with that one, and I usually keep it to 24. And then I can keep the price point around $15. So I usually do 2 in a muted tone and then 2 in like a vibrant tone, if you will. So one I definitely want to do is the color Sailor's Delight, because that turns out really cute. This one here is Sailor's Delight. It's like a muted tone. It is quite nice. I also want to do the color Mini Succulents. That's a really nice one. I just love the way it looks when it's in a variegated and worked in the round. Because people buy these as baby gifts, I do like to embroider the eyes on them. I probably will do 2 with safety eyes and 2 with embroidered eyes. It is now the next day, and I was able to get all 4 caterpillars finished last night. I was surprised, but it helped that Big Brother, no, I keep saying Big Brother. I wish Big Brother was on, but no, it's not anymore. It helped that Survivor and The Amazing Race were on, so that was 3 hours of TV time. So I finished this caterpillar in the color Sailor's Delight. I just love the way it works up in a caterpillar. And then also Mini Succulents. So cute. I love these yarns for the caterpillars. So I usually do save these yarns specifically for these caterpillars. I ended up doing embroidered eyes on all of them because I didn't realize how low I was on safety eyes, and the largest size I have is 40 and 35 millimeter. And these would look really good with 25s, but I don't have 25s. And then 20s were too small, 18s were definitely too small, so they'll have embroidered eyes. But that's okay. So this one, I followed the entire pattern. So I got it up to 32 stitches, but the other 3 are all 24 stitches around, which I do prefer more, but I want to see how it looked. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I sell my caterpillars for $15. And then I've also started on the octopus, or no, not the octopus, the jellyfish tentacles. So I just have 2 done so far. And that's what I'll be focused on, hopefully-ish, today. It's now Friday, and last night I was able to finish up 2 more Drift the Octopus in the color Peacock with Chenille Home. It's my favorite to use for Drift the Octopus. And that was my last of it. I'm so sad. I do have a few scraps that wouldn't be enough for a full octopus, but, maybe I'll save the scraps for memorabilia, just because I love this color so much. And then I was able to finish up 2 jellyfish. I don't think I'm going to get to do the 3rd, just because I already have 1 made that's like an ombre purple, so 3 is going to have to be good enough for tomorrow for the farmer's market. And then I made one out of Bernat patchwork, and I don't know, I haven't done this before. It's so cool how it works up. And I've said in my previous market prep videos, I do only put 4 tentacles on these. Nobody's ever walked up and said, oh, there's only 4 tentacles instead of 6 or 8 or whatever it is. It's a lot easier to do 4 than it is to do 8. And it's a lot time saving. I only sell these for $15. I know I should be selling them for like $20, $25, but at $15 they sell really well, and so that's what I finished since I last updated you. Coming back to this video 2 weeks later, of course, I meant to like film everything in sequence and blah, blah, blah. But since starting this video, the 2-week gap, I've had 2 markets. And a lot of the things that I just made that you had just seen have sold. So I had made the 2 jellyfish, both of those sold, because I wanted to do 3. I didn't get to number 3. Eventually I did, but you haven't seen it yet. So I do have 1 in stock. It's in my car in my Plushie bag, so you're not going to see it tonight. So I made 2 more jellyfish to replace the ones that did sell. We never got to any tiny teddies, so we're good there. And then the little white birds with the fun colored combs, 4 out of 6 have sold. I have 2 left right now, and the little $5 one did sell. Caterpillars. I think in the end I had 7 because I had 3 left in stock that I forgot about, which is fine. They're all safety eyes. I need to do those ones with embroidered eyes anyway. So I think I'd done 4, and then out of the 7, I think 3 have sold. So I currently do have 4, so I think we're good on those. I'm not going to make like any more of those. The mixture of the 2 ducks patterns that I use, the atomic crochet and the mod threads. I think it's mod threads who does the baby Della duck, I'm pretty sure. So the duck mixture, sound like I'm talking about dog food, but I'm not. The duck mixture, both of those sold, but I have replaced them already. I'll show you those in a second. We still have to do a 3rd one. The $10 mini kitties. I took them to the market and I was going to take my black and white worsted weight yarn so I could embroider the eyes on, but then I forgot that yarn. So one of them sold. It was a little tiny black one. I mentioned it to the little girl buying it. She said, oh, it's okay because he's a black cat and wouldn't know black whiskers anyway. Right, and I didn't say anything like, oh, I would have done white whiskers, but that's okay. She loved it. We never got to any of the $10 bees, but I just made them last night and finished them up tonight. I'll show you those in a second. We never did any Drift the Octopus. I do have 2 written down. Haven't done those yet, but we will get to them. And then while I was at these 2 markets in between these 2 weeks, I sold a lot of my little palm turtles. So right now I only have 3 in stock. So I ended up making 4 of them today. The 3 I do have left in stock are all like blue color shells. I think originally I had made like close to 20 of them and they were like all blue. I think the remaining blues, like out of 4, 3 of them are left. It's just the way it worked out. So I made 4 new turtles so I can get those stocked up. So let me show you what I have made that you haven't seen. If you haven't watched my channel before, my cabinet did not come like this. This is just a standard cabinet from any hardware store. 4 doors. It's like a pantry for the kitchen, I guess. But I got stickers from the Dollar Tree and I put them on there. So if you're admiring my cabinet, thank you so much. I love it too, especially with my new office walls. If you want to see my full office renovation, feel free to check out my channel. So the $10 bees, I don't know if I'm going to sell these for 10 or for 15. I am leaning more towards 10 because they don't take long and they're just so handheld and so cute and they sit on their own. And I really love this pattern. It is by Coyote Crochets or Coyote Creates. Either way, I'm going to have the thumbnail up here for you. So I really love these. I made 3 of them in total. I had made the first one that I'd ever made during the $5 Market Makes series. And I decided, no, they're not going to be $5 items. I was selling for 10 or 15. So I did one with embroidered eyes. And the craft sale I have coming up this weekend, it's just like a local thing in a local arena. And it's not going to be anything, huge. But I thought, to top up some things for if I get into any other big craft sales or if I go back to the farmer's market for a cold day outside, we'll see. Here are the turtles that I made that are a bit more feminine colors and just more of a variety. So the shell is made from Bernat Blanket tie-dye itch in the color lavender. This one, I don't remember what it's called. To me, it's Neapolitan ice cream. And I embroidered the eyes on this one because this yarn is old formula, the green, and it's so hard to get safety eye through. I'm surprised I got the safety eyes through on this one. The shell is Mini Succulents. And this one is not Adobe. Adobe's the one that's a bit more red. This one is Posy Pink or something like that. I don't know, but it's a nice color. So those are 3 bees and the 4 turtles that I've made that you haven't seen yet. And then while I was at the farmer's market, all my axolotls sold. So I've been making them out of Sweet Snuggles Chenille Home, like the first column right here, just to use up that yarn because I got a bunch from Facebook Marketplace thing from my new friend Alexandria. So hi, Alexandria. So I made some more axolotls yesterday. This is what I spent most of my day on. I just got these new eyes from Temu and I never had these ones before. They're like holographic and like color shifting. They're really, really pretty. But honestly, it was really hard to decide which to put on each axolotl because every time you pick it up, it's a different color because of the way it reflects. Here's the next one. I really love this blue of the body. I found it recently as a clearance from Chenille Home. Here's a nice one. I mean, they're all nice. They're all cute. And it's so funny how every kid knows what an axolotl is. But as a 30-something-year-old, you never heard of them until Minecraft made them popular. And then the fact that they do actually exist in the world. So I made 4 of those. And I might as well show this to you. This is for a custom order. It's a Brontosaurus. And this is the pattern by Chanel's Crochet. It's a really nice pattern. I like working with it. And I did the holographic eyes on this one as well. I love these holographic eyes. They're so cool. If I can order more soon. Not saying I need them, but I like them. So I'm going to hopefully order more. Let's put them a little bit back there so just his head is poking up because it's cute. Being as forgetful as I am, I completely forgot I made more than just however many jellyfish I said. I think I had said 3, but I made 6 because they sell so well for me. And we went into the city the other day to run some errands. So I took the yarn for the tentacles along so I could just get them done. They take 4.5 minutes each, I calculated. This is like a rainbow yarn. I think it's Bernat Blanket No, it's not Unicorn Brights. It's one of the Brights. I don't remember what it's called, but my neighbor gave me this yarn because she wasn't using it. So that was nice. This one's Bernat Baby Blanket Dappled in the color Rosy, I believe. And I just did like a solid color one. A lot of the times I do switch up like the bodies and the tentacles. This one, for example. So this one is Bernat Blanket Ombre. I think it's lavender or purple, I don't remember. And then the tentacles are Cloud 9. I think that's such a cute combination. And then I ran out of that ombre purple, so I paired that with the rosy Bernat Blanket Dappled. I like this one. It's really pretty, especially in person. Like on video it looks nice, but in person it's even better. And my most popular color that always sells every time I take it is mint. With this, I think this is Seaside. I don't remember. I always get that name wrong of this yarn. It's never gonna stick in my brain, I swear. So that one, so that's 5. And then the one that I had made previously that I showed you, it was Pretty Girl Bernat Blanket. That one sold, but I made another one because I have lots of this yarn. So I was like, I'm just gonna do that color again. I really like the way it self-stripes. Pretty cool. So just replace that one. Here's the duck mixture I made. So Atomic Crochet and Shop Mod threads. I really like the shape, as I said before, the body of the Baby Della duck. I just like the shape of this. It's really cute. So you can go from the head down to the body, right? And then I do the wings and little tail in the round per Atomic Crochet's pattern. And then I do the legs from Atomic Crochet. I just find them easier to understand. I don't know why that is, but it is. And then the beaks, I follow the Baby Della duck. So I did those. And then this time I did stuff them a tiny bit. I usually don't, but I thought, you know what? They're soft and squishy enough. They're still huggable, and I did stuff them like a lot. I did want to do one more of these. I don't know if I'm going to do it before my market on Saturdays. A few other things I want to get done. They can just be little friends for now. If you watch my channel, you've likely already watched the October market recaps. So I kept all my market recaps from October, put it in one video. And the one market I did at the farmer's market, I made those little white birds that you guys seen in this video. And it's so funny because people would look at them, but then they notice my other chickens that I've had since March or February or whatever it was, and they bought those. So both of those sold, which was great because they were like larger size chickens that I had made. And then they noticed my little pocket chickens that haven't been in this video, but I'll put a picture right here. I call them pocket chickens because I barely stuff them, maybe with a little bit of yarn, and they're really flat, so I call them my pocket chickens. People really noticed those, and they didn't really pay much attention to the white birds. The white birds had sold, I think 4 of them that were sold to one person. Not everybody was really interested in those, I think because they were birds and they weren't chickens. So the pocket chickens I want to, or I guess I can call them mini chickens right now because I don't know if I'm going to make the pocket chickens. I want to make them, like more round, I think, maybe for my upcoming market because it's in a farming community. But I'm not going to do them white to make like birds. I'm going to make like chicken colors. So like using the Bernat Blanket tweed yarn. That is what I want to focus on a little bit tonight. I do have a sweater I want to finish up. Gotta get that done, and then I'm going to work on the chickens. But luckily tonight is TV night, as I call it. So Survivor's on, and then The Amazing Race is on. So I get 3 hours of crochet time in front of the TV, guilt-free. It's now the next day, and you've seen already that I had 2 cross ducks, I guess, finished. So the Atomic Crochet pattern and the Baby Della duck by Mod Threads. So I did a 3rd one. I just wanted to have 3 instead of just 2. I find, 3 looks better in my little basket that I display them in. Did this one. This is Bernat Baby Blanket Dappled in the color it's Abracadabra Apricot. That's really hard to say. I can picture it in my head. Abracadabra Apricot is that one. And it's a really nice color. And then while watching The Amazing Race last night, I finished those bees, and then, Survivor Amazing Race, as I said, guilt-free TV time, just to sit and crochet. I also finished up a bunch of chickens, and as I said, I was just going to do chicken colors. So I'll show them all to you. I started with this one. I didn't like how big it was for like the $10, $15 mark. Not really sure how I'm going to do with this one, but all the other ones are smaller in size. So this one, I believe, I got increased up to 32. So this one is 32 stitches around, and then I stuck with 24 stitches around for like the one that I wanted to make size. So the first one usually does turn out bigger, and then, or smaller, and then I can get to what I actually want. So I did this one in Bernat Blanket Tweed. Don't remember what it's called, but it's the same as that big one. This one I think is the color Branch Bernat Blanket. It might be something else. I don't know. Here's another Bernat Blanket Tweed. I think in Sunday times, I'm pretty sure. This is Bernat Blanket Tie-Dye-ish in the color Wispy White. I made a sweater out of it, and I had some left over. This yarn I got at, during a Facebook Marketplace yarn haul. It's a Mainstays Walmart. And then from Temu, I had got yarn that sparkles, and it's so pretty. So you can see the sparkle tinsel in there. It is Snowball yarn, and I had this nice color. So I thought that worked well for chickens. So I did some sparkle chickens. Kind of hard to see. It's a bit of a cloudy day out there. And then I did one that was super small because I wasn't sure what stitch count I wanted to get up to. So this one's much smaller. I might throw it in my $5 bin, or I might keep it with the other chickens. I don't know yet. I'll decide once I get them onto like a little tray and like displayed. If I don't have room to display it, I'll throw it in the $5 bin. Let's put it that way. That's a good amount of chickens there. I'll probably will try to sell these for $10. So I think that's everything I got done as of recent. So I already showed you everything else. Today is Wednesday, November 12th, and over the past few days I've been really productive. And my hands are a little sore, but I can give myself a break today, don't worry. I have been working through my Sweet Snuggles, so that's Demi Pearl right here. So ignore that. But these were all full before, if you may remember. So I've been working through those, and there are some, so like a gray, brown, and like this Mainstays Walmart gray. I wasn't going to put into what I was making, you'll see in a second. So those are left, and I still have a bunch of the blue, because they were $7 at Walmart when I first found them, and I bought all of them I could find. But that's okay. I made 5 more axolotls, because they keep selling out at my markets. Well, they didn't sell out last time, because I made 4 last week, and I sold 2. I sold the pink one, and then I sold the purple one, so I wanted to remake those. I brought in my market bags. I have a small 4-hour market tonight in like a small town close to here. And I made 2 blue, 1 navy, 1 Mainstays Walmart blue. I love the big eyes on these. I use, I think 25mm or 30, I don't remember. Or 35s, I really don't remember. And then I love the green ash color by Sweet Snuggles. It's just so cute. I finished up those and I was like, I don't want to get up off the couch, so I just started some little dinosaurs there, Stegosaurus. And this pattern's by My Universe 64. I made it before, I'll put the screenshot here. I want these up some scrap pieces, so I did this one with different colored baubles for the spikes. Here's the green ash with peacock baubles / spikes, and the pink one with green ash. It's just so cute. So I add these to my market table. I think I usually sell these for 10, but because they were Sweet Snuggles, I might try it for 15, and we'll see if I sell any tonight. So that's 4 more pieces done. And then I was scrolling on Instagram, basically just, I typed in like free amigurumi patterns, maybe finding something I hadn't seen before. And then one of them caught my heart, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. And it wasn't a free pattern, but I was happy to purchase it from Knott's Merry Yarn. Here's the thumbnail, and they're so cute, especially out of like the Sweet Snuggles chenille yarn. Adorable. So here's more of those holographic eyes I was talking about, and just so cute. I put a poll up on my Instagram, and I said, friends, if you've seen this on my craft sale table, would you pay $10 for one of these? And everybody said 100% yes. So I made 5, so 1, they're hard to hold, 2, they look good with the black eyes as well, number 3, number 4, and number 5 with the holographic eyes. I think these are adorable, don't you? Oh my god, I love them so much. So I made 5 of these, definitely gonna make more. Probably will make some out of Bernat blanket yarn just to see like how the size comes out. Because as I said, I'm almost out of the Sweet Snuggles now. I'm doing good with that until I buy more. And after that, I still had some small scraps left, so I was like, you know what? I have a little bit of green left, so I'm going to make some turtles. So the shells I made scrappy, so you can see there. And then I had some of the agave color left. My husband was like, oh, are those turtles? They're so cute. You're going to sell those. And I was like, turtles always sell. So some more. Adorable. I love this. And then I was like, oh no, I'm running out of the green. So I was able to finish this one here. It was the last one I made. I remember because it was the pink one. And I had just enough to tack down the head. So I have nothing left now of the green agave. So that was 4 turtles. And as I said, I made 5. But I think number 5 I'm going to keep for myself because I had enough of the peacock yarn, my favorite color of chenille home. You know, it's now discontinued, as we know. I think I'm going to keep this one for me because I just love the colors. I love the peacock. And it can fit up there on my shelf above my computer. So I'm going to keep this one for me. I think he's just so cute with the peacock yarn and the pink. And then I was looking over my list from the beginning of this video. I still have it on my computer desk. And I still had to make some Drift the Octopus. I want to make 2. So here's 1. So I was able to get this one finished. I don't think we're going to get the second one done in this video, but that's okay. And I think he's really cute. I think this color is Unicorn Brights by Bernat Blanket. Brights, I guess. So I'll put the screenshot here if I am wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Unicorn Brights. So yeah, that was a lot done in the past 2 or 3 days. So good for me. That's where I'm going to end this video. I know this video was a bit of a jumbled mess. Every time I set out to do one of these micro prep videos, it seems to be the case, where I think I can get these done within a week or 2. And then, you know, I go to markets and things sell and then you have to start all over again. But you know what? You got to see me crochet for a bit. So looking at the list that I had made originally, I got all the jellyfish done plus extra. I got the bumble cat done that I wanted to do. It didn't end up selling at my other market, but that's okay. I still have him. I never got the tiny teddies done. I wanted to do 4, but that's okay. This is just, you know, goals, ambitions I set for myself. They don't have to be, like, it's not, you know, set in stone. These are things I make for myself, and I have to be okay with that. I think that's something we all struggle with, isn't it? I did those little tiny white birds. I called them tiny chickens. People were calling them birds at the market, and that's fine. And then after that, I made a whole bunch more birds / chickens in chicken colors, so they're more chickeny. And then I did the 4 caterpillars. And I think how many of them sold now? I think 3 out of the 4 that you've seen me making this video have sold. Or 2. 2 or 3 of them have sold. And then I made the bees, the $10 bees, the sitting ones. So that was done completely. And then I did the blended ducks. I wanted to do 3 of those. I got those 3 done. Drift the octopus, as I just said, I got 1 out of 2 done, so 50% done. I just want to have more than 1 on my table. So right now I do have 1 on the, like in inventory, like this blue one here, and then the one I just made. I have that one now, and then of course I still have the ones made out of chenille home. Those pictures are there. But it's nice to have, you know, like the larger ones of the chenille home, and then some with the brunette blanket yarn. For like a smaller option, I find the variety is nice to have. And then the $10 kittens, as I call them. Not the mini kitties. The mini kitties are what I refer to as the $5 mini kitties that I go in my $5 bin. But the $10 kittens, you see me create 6 of those, so those were also finished. So we basically got everything done except for the tiny teddies and 1 Drift the octopus. So I consider that a good success. I probably will start a new market prep video right after this. It's just the way it goes, you know, when it's the holiday season and stuff. And I do believe I am signing up for a 3-day really large market at the end of November. There were some spots left, and I don't know if there's any crochet vendors there already. They never really said. I did ask, waiting to hear back from her, because 1, I don't want to step on toes, and 2, if there's going to be like 2 other crochet vendors there with plushies, I don't want to go. I think 3 is just too much. 2 would be fine. If there is 1 other, I'll sign up. So you know how it goes. So we will see how it goes. I'm excited to, you know, market prep more. I have a small event tonight, as I just said, from 4 till 8 in a small town near us, and we'll see what I sell tonight, if I sell anything. I mean, hopefully I'll sell, you know, at least $100 worth. Fingers crossed. The booth fee was only like $20, so I'm excited, you know, to get out of the house and, you know, show off some more plushies. In the meantime, please remember that you are strong, you are beautiful, you are loved, and the world appreciates having you here. I will see you next Sunday.